Okay, here we are looking at the turtle skull. I'm going to go through the major bones, and there are a couple things that I want you to know about this that will not be on the test. The first is the otic region, or the otic capsule, excuse me, and the x-occipital foramina. Those will not be included on the test. I realize that they're just too hard to see in some of these specimens, in most of these specimens. Okay, so let's take a look at the dorsal view, just to orient you. Here's the skull. Okay, there's the anterior view, the ventral view, and the dorsal view. So let's take a look at the dorsal view. And again, these bones are going to be very familiar from the cat and the alligator. So let's start just with the front. Okay, we have the external nares. Okay, just like in the other species, and surrounding that external nair are the prefrontal bones. The prefrontal bones, and just below that is the maxilla and the premaxilla. Okay, so let's move caudally. Okay, we have the frontal bones, which are a little bit tough to see, but they're basically right in here. You can't see the articulation or the sutures too well, but there's one suture right there. So these are the frontal bones right in here. Just caudal to that, these are the large bones. These are the parietals. And this bone back here is the supra-occipital. If we look down into these large fenestrae here, these are not actually fenestrae in the evolutionary sense. They're not part of those skulls. Remember, the turtle is anapsid, so it doesn't have the fenestrae as such. But if we look down deep in here, what we see, this bone right here is the prootic. Just caudal to that is the opisthetic bone. And just kind of anterior and lateral to that is the quadrate bone. And just behind that is the squamosal. So we have the prootic down here. We have the opisthetic bone. We have the quadrate, and finally the squamosal. Making up this bar here is the quadratojugal. And we already talked, I think we talked about this, but maybe not. The post-orbital bones are here and here. So post-orbital means right behind the orbits. Okay, let's take a look now at the ventral surface. Okay, just to orient you. Okay, what we have up here is the incisive foramen. Here's the palatine bone. Okay, right down in here are the internal nares. Okay, these two large foramina here would be the posterior palatine vacuities. Okay, and it looks a little different in your diagram. It's a lot thinner, but here are the pterygoids. In your diagrams, it's a lot skinnier. Okay, let's see what else we need to know. On that, I think that's it. You might be able to see the vomer in here. Here's the vomer right here. Okay, let's take a look now at the mandible. In particular, we're going to be looking from a medial view. So we're going to be looking at it this way. Okay, and what you see right down in here is the Meckellian foramen, and this whole line right here is called the Meckellian groove. Okay, within that is Meckellian cartilage. Okay, you'll see Meckellian cartilage in your chapter, throughout your chapters. Right here is the splenial bone. Okay, and the splenial bone is just dorsal to the dentary bone. Okay, and a little bit tougher to see. I'll see if I can get the light right here. Right down here, you can see the sutures right here. This is the angular. This bone right here, let's see if I can switch hands here. This bone right here is, let's get it in focus here. That's the articular bone. And just anterior to that is the pre-articular bone. Okay. Sorry for moving around so much, but this is a little bit difficult to get in focus, but I will try. Right here is the coronoid bone. Okay, I think that's all for the turtle.